this. And the integration in this case is connecting Bucket to your email marketing provider, whoever that is. And in the case we're going to walk through today, it's Entreport. Yours might be ActiveCampaign, it might be Drip or GetResponse or Aweber or Infusionsoft or whatever. The process itself is the same, but you're going to, in every case, it's a little bit different, and I'll walk you through that part real quick. But I do want to do a quick integration just so you can see the process of walking through and connecting bucket.io to an email marketing service. So I'm going to click this integrate here. And then once you do this, every time it'll ask you, do you want to continue with a test lead, or do you want to activate and fill in your survey first? Here's the thing. The easiest way to set this up so that you don't run into bugs later on is to continue with a test lead. That what it basically does is it sets up some basic test data so that as soon as you walk through setting up your Zap, boom, it'll automatically put that over into your email marketing service so that you know for a fact that it works real time while you're doing it. So I'm going to continue with a test lead here. And then I'm just going to create a Zap. And this is going to be a new discover because it triggers when you have a new lead that comes into a discover tool. I've already connected it to the Bucket account, so I'm just going to use that. Connecting to a Bucket account is very simple. You just click this little connect to, and then it says enter your API key. You can find that API key right over here in Bucket. You just click on your name, go to account settings, and then if you scroll down, you see right there your API key. That's what you're going to use in Zapier if you haven't already connected it. So you would click that, connect a new account, paste in that API, hit yes, continue, and then it would look just like this. So I'm going to save and continue. And here we're going to pull down the survey we just created. You're going to have a list of all the surveys in your Bucket account. After you put your API in, then we'll continue. Do a fetch and continue. And so what happens here is then Zapier just went into Bucket and pulled that test lead down. So we've got test successful, everything's looking good. And now we want to add an action step. And then this is where we're going to say, yeah, let's put some data in Entreport. And in this case, we're just going to do a create or update contact. And everyone's different. Your ActiveCampaign will have a bunch of different options. You can add it to different things. What you want to think of when you're setting up this connection from Bucket to wherever your email provider is, you always want it to be the simplest step. You want it to be just get the data out of here and stick it over there in a list. And then, any kind of magic you do with your automations or anything like that, do those on your email marketing side, because the more you leave up to Zapier, the more they're going to charge you, and a lot of it's not even necessary. Most Zaps, especially when you're just talking about leads, can be done in a single step. So when you see all these options to add, do this, do that inside of Zapier, just think in your mind, they just want me to have these options so they can charge me for more Zaps. So you just want the simple A to B in most cases, 99% of the time, as far as I've seen so far. So you hit the save and continue, and then looks like I added a couple of them. So I'm going to just do this recent one. And then, as you can see here, what happens is once you get to every provider has this kind of screen on it. And this is where you're going to tell Zapier to send the information that from Bucket to your email provider. So everyone's going to have an email field. And so what I did is I just came over here, and you see all these things underneath this new discover. We chose email. Oh, I did not mean to do that twice. I've never done that before. Okay, there you go. So you can just grab email. If you were taking first name, you could do name, or just first and last name. Um, we took phone number. So I'm just going to put phone here. And then if you noticed, we chose one of the the fields inside of bucket. Here, I'll just jump back over here so you can see what I was talking about. So we took one of these questions, how long until you retire, and we added this Zapier tag to it, this AST survey retire. And so what we'll want to do is come over to one of their fields here. I'm not going to search through all the fields, but we'll just grab this field, and you see where it says AST survey retire? We'll stick that option in that field so that when someone, whatever they choose in this field, whether I'm already retired, less than 5 years, between 5 and 10, etc., whatever they choose will be put into this field so they can use, so Brian can use this later on in his marketing. And we'll scroll to the bottom here, hit continue. Got our leads set up, have an idea of what it looks like, create and continue. And boom, test successful. Then we would simply hit finish, turn on the zap, and away we go. So from there, that's all you have to do to connect your bucket.io to your email marketing provider. All right?
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
We have a great question from Jill Carnduff, and I want to let everyone know that I see all the other questions and we'll definitely circle back around to them, but this one's highly relevant right here.
Mm-hmm.
With the question is Zapier a separate cost to your bucket.io subscription?
So, yeah, okay. Yes, it is. It's separate from bucket.io and it's separate from your email marketing provider. If you, as you're just getting started out, if you get 5 different zaps that they'll let you build. So 5 different connections from, bucket to whatever email provider. So for this one, this took up 1 zap, right? So this is 1 out of 5 being used on the free account. As you start getting more advanced and start running more traffic and more, funnels out there, if you're running more than 5 different funnels, if you need to add a 6th one, then you probably want to upgrade your Zapier account. But until then, as you're just getting started, you can have 5 of those and it doesn't cost anything extra. So you've got, and then the final configuration is the Facebook pixel. I'm not going to go deep into here because most times you really don't need it for a discovery tool for a survey, but it is available. So if you wanted to just put your pixel code from your Facebook ad account in here, and then just add it to the questions, you could definitely do that, and then tag the questions. Again, I don't want to, since it's not really used in surveys very often, I don't want to go too deep, but the option is available. On a segmentation call, we'll go into more detail because that's really where you're going to use the Facebook pixel. So we'll save our changes. I'm going to just turn this off here. I'm going to save changes. And then that will lead us to the final step, which is to publish our survey. So once it's ready to go out in the world, we're just going to put it out there on a link for people to see it. So the way that we'll do that is we'll go choose a domain, we'll turn the funnel on so that it has public access to it, and then we'll just go take a look at the URL. So I'm going to walk you through that with Brian's funnel right here. So as you can see, it's a full page. You have the option to turn it into a button at this point, but we're not going to. We're going to keep it as a full page. We're going to come down here and choose the domain for the discovery survey. This could be, you have the option of choosing any of these hosted domains. We're just going to do bucketsurveys.com. And then we're going to click publish. Now, notice they're giving me an oops, your discovery survey is not ready. That's because we chose not to use a welcome page. So you're going to get this every time you decide you're going to run a survey that doesn't use maybe one of the elements. You're going to say, hey, it's not ready. Well, the good news is you can either go back and add that step if maybe you just forgot it, or you could just say, hey, I understand, and publish it anyways. And then once your survey is published, you'll see the link to it here. You'll simply copy that, and then we can jump over. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Jump over here and have a look at it. All right, so when it comes to planning your finances, what challenge do you struggle with the most? This is where they'll just put their information in. And as you can see here from when we created that nav bar at the bottom, this is how that looks. I wouldn't have left that on there for Brian, just because they don't really need it for this particular um, funnel. So I'll just put some test info, click next. Are you a man or a woman? I'm asking because men and women tend to have different goals for retirement. Again, I'm a man. And then we'll put more than 10 years. And as you can see here, this is the contact information screen. So I'm just going to just put some test lead here. And phone. And we'll hit continue. And then we're taken straight to the thank you page. All right. So we got ourselves a full-blown survey built in under less than an hour to get it all like set up with the walkthrough and everything. Not bad. Not bad at all. And then so now let's kind of take it to the next step here. Once you have it published, jump back over here. We want to take a look at how do we analyze the responses that are coming in, because when you have people filling in these long open-ended forms, you want to be able to analyze it and sort them based on their relevance and of course their impact on your survey. So I'm going to take you to the screen and I'm going to show you how to first of all access your analytics, but then kind of we'll walk through and see what all is available uh, in the analytics screens. So let's jump back over here real quick. I'm just going to click on Discovery Surveys. And so, you know what? Let's find one that actually has data on it. Here we go. So as you can see here, I clicked on one that has some data on it just so you can kind of see what it looks like uh, once the responses start coming in. So in this one, we were looking for 250 responses, and it has 21 on it so far. So you can see it's still got a ways to go till it's considered complete. Out of the 32 participants that have actually filled out some parts of the survey, 6 of them have been marked as hyper responses. And a couple of things that you can look at here are the conversion statistics. So you can see that 32 people that saw question number 2 filled it out. Same thing with question number 3. And you can also see out of the 70 people that saw this survey, only 32, so about 45%, 46% conversion rate on that front question. If you click the down arrow button on some of these results, you can get an idea of, like, if you just wanted a quick snapshot of kind of where the market's at, you see how many people have connected your bucket, then you've got 40%. How many have not? About 40, about the same. And then you see how many people have completed the opt-in. So it's got about a 70% opt-in rate from the people that actually see the fill in your contact information rate. Then if you scroll to the very top, so we were on stats, and what I did is I scrolled to the very top, and if you see responses, then you see the hyperscore, and you'll see the contact information. Don't want to leave it on. Don't want to leave that up. So just to protect privacy, but you can see there's it has the full analysis. You can see the responses. You can also download those responses into a spreadsheet if you want to do further analysis in a spreadsheet format. I believe Robert brought this up earlier, but if you edit a page or if you edit a funnel after you already have responses, Bucket you'll lose the responses that are on that funnel. So you never want, once you start having responses come in, you don't want to go in and edit it. If you try to, like I'll click this, you'll get a big giant, hey, it has one response. If you edit it, the data will be deleted. We recommend you to clone the survey before you edit. So here, you can either say, oh, it's just a bunch of test data. I understand. I want to continue and keep editing. Otherwise, you want to say, nope, I definitely just want to clone this survey. And then you'll go into edit that survey once it's a copy of, and you start editing the clone. See, you'll see it has 0 participants, completions, and all that. So again, very good point earlier, very important to remember. And then if you just want to delete, anytime you delete anything, you're going to get the full, hey, sirens, are you sure you want to do this? And then you say, I understand, I'd like to delete it. And that is pretty much the discovery survey tool in a nutshell. I mean, we've got one built up. It looked good. We ran all the way through it. It worked well. We got it connected to our email marketing service. We ran through, looked at all the places that we could, looked at the responses, checked out the analytics. So if there's anything else about your discovery tool, using that inside of bucket.io, let's go ahead and dive into some of those questions right now.